All right. This is the Final Percent podcast. And we are basically live at the Grammys. The Grammys happen tomorrow. And who is we? I need to introduce Kayla Kimball. This is where you say hi.
Hi. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right. So, yeah, we're pretty excited. We're sitting in our hotel room at the JW Marriott, which, by the way, the JW Marriott is pretty rad.
It's definitely one of the best hotels I've ever been to.
Yeah, and we're pretty excited to go down. It's, let's see, it is 5:42 p.m., and so we're pretty confident that shenanigans are going to start tonight, and we're going to go down and explore. Some of the things that we've done, we did the This Is Us. Not This Is Us, but This Is Us Instagram. So if you want to go follow that, it's going to be the cheesiest Instagram that you could possibly follow.
And that's UFFS.
Explain why. Okay, our last name is Kimball.
Yes.
Your original last name was Fitzgerald.
Mm-hmm.
Why This Is Us?
Well, our pet names for one another are Fluff and Scruff, or Fluffy and Scruffy. And
the Fluffy and Scruffy show. Boom, boom.
Boom, boom. The nickname Fluffy came from you a long time ago when we would drive by little dogs on the side of the road, and I would go, oh, they're so cute, they're so little and fluffy. And then he was trying to make fun of me, started calling me Fluffy, and I was very resistant to the name. I did not like it.
She's already getting it wrong.
What?
She's already getting it wrong. Here's the way it went down. She would get so excited when she saw a little puppy, and she'd go, oh, it's so fluffy. And I say, well, I get that excited when I see you. And I said, so I'm just going to start calling you Fluffy. And she said, if you start calling me Fluffy, I'm going to be so mad. And now she loves it that I call her Fluffy.
I do. It's one of my absolute favorite things. And so I started calling him Scruff because it was very similar to Fluff, or Scruffy and Fluffy.
Yep, and we love the show This Is Us. Mm-hmm. So we said, why don't we call our own Instagram that's going to kind of chronicle just our weird, crazy, amazing life together. And we said, we're actually on the plane on the way here, and we've jokingly said this a few times, and I said, I'm making the Instagram right now. And
then he did.
And earlier today, did you not say I'm having more fun doing the This Is Us
Instagram than my own? It's so true, because there's so many cute little moments that we share together that I don't necessarily feel like I should put on mine for some reason. And then just having it together, and then when we're hanging out together on this trip, there's so many more of those moments that I'm like, I have to document this, and now I have a platform to do that.
And I think it's going to actually be pretty cool, because now we can, because we are, but we want to really make a concerted effort to be leaders in the community. Mm-hmm. And so I think it gives us the opportunity to be cute and silly and all of that stuff, and then really focus on our professional brands on our more traditional Instagrams. Does that make kind of makes sense, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, speaking of things that I want to talk about today, I want to talk about the Final Percent. I know that this is the Final Percent the Final Percent. Now, just so you guys know, I have this new console that is a podcast console, and it has 8 different banks on it, and I can do stuff
the Final Percent
like that all the time.
Usually that's me going, wah, wah.
So, yeah, it's I don't know.
It's pretty awesome.
It's fun. We're not using a computer. We're just podcasting in the middle of our room. But okay, so anyway, down to business. What my wife and I have done, because the Final Percent means so much to us, we have developed the Final Percent coaching group on Instagram. And now I'm just going to read something here that is kind of a quasi-mission statement. In full disclosure, I wrote this while we were going to Guitar Center in the back of an Uber. So it might not be super awesome, might not be final, but it is going to give you a general idea of what does the Final Percent mean to us and why you might want to be a part of it. It says, we are a community of love, challenge, change, compassion, ideas, and execution. We strive to equip our fellow members with the support and tools to help their vision become reality. We are a change agent. In and out of this private community, we are a change agent. We push the envelope. We are in constant pursuit of finding the exponential part of life. We are committed to helping become more so that we can do more. And then in turn, yes, we will have more. But we understand that having is just a byproduct of making a difference. We are committed to an exponential existence, not just for us personally, but for anyone that we come in contact with. This is the final percent. That personifies us, right?
Not bad for the back of an Uber.
Yeah, not bad for the back of an Uber. I'm sure, unfortunately, there's many other stories that are less...
I didn't even think about that. But yes, probably. I prefer this version.
Yeah, I prefer this version too. What does the final percent mean to you, Miss Kayla? The final percent.
Well, for me personally, I spent a lot of my life not acting, not doing things, not changing myself. And it wasn't until I really started adopting the final percent and going on my own personal growth journey that I really started to do those things.
And what percent was that?
The final percent.
The final percent. I'm having way too much fun with this.
That's fine. I like the little special effects. I just feel like we need to add some variety to it a little bit.
The final percent.
We need to get me on there doing something.
The final percent. All right. Back to your story.
No, just
the final percent. All right, I really am done.
That was basically it. Just really pushing myself to actually do more and be more when like I was saying, for so long in my life, I just operated in my own little tiny box. And I never, I love rules, and I'm always like, oh, you can't do that, or we shouldn't do this, or what have you. But then I met you, and you taught me like, what is a box? Like, you have no idea. And then I just started seeing the world differently and really started pushing myself.
You know, one thing that Kayla and I were talking about last night that I feel important, or I feel is important enough to say on this podcast, is there's a lot of people out there who think that they need some sort of validation, justification, whatever it is, to be considered an entrepreneur. And she's tried telling me, which is not true, she tried telling me last night that, you know, I'm just not a purebred entrepreneur like you are. And I said, whoa. If you think about, you have a stable corporate job at Wells Fargo, you're super smart, you've already graduated from a 4-year university, you have your degree, you meet some crazy guy, and it's not that I unlocked something that wasn't there. I mean, we weren't together yet. We had just known each other for a couple months, and you were already ready to jump into the deep end with me and leave the corporate life behind and take on building this company that we have now called KMG Life. And you did that without me talking you into it, convincing. I mean, you brought that out of yourself. So, I mean, that was already there. It was just dormant.
I had no idea. I literally went through my whole life thinking I'm not a natural born entrepreneur. I'm supposed to live the normal, typical employee, lifestyle.
But then you went the final percent.
The final percent. It's true, though. I met you, and it opened up my world to so many more possibilities that I didn't even know existed. And I realized that was the path I was meant to go on this whole time. I just needed somebody to show me the way.
And again, I kind of challenge that. I don't think that I necessarily showed her the way. I feel like I was someone who I had. So she credits me with maybe awakening some sort of way. I do love flashlights, and that's a completely different podcast, but I put a flashlight on her true entrepreneurial spirit. But she showed me just as much. And we came to the conclusion last night that we bring out the best in one another, and that's what marriage and partnership and a good business partnership really should be about. And she says that I showed her the way. She showed me the way just as much. And so in the risk of going, this is us on you, and maybe not the final percent, she showed me just as much. So, be aware when you have those kind of change agents in your life. She helped me find the final percent of life in my heart and in my brain and in my life. And we're taking on this crazy world together. And I'm very lucky and I'm very excited. But it just, last night in our conversation, it made me wonder how many real, true, honest to God entrepreneurs do we have out there? And they are telling themselves lies, saying, I'm not a real entrepreneur, when they probably have the best ideas of all.
It's true. You just have to convince yourself you are your hardest sell. Mm-hmm. And if you can actually believe in yourself and push yourself and act, you'll start to gain confidence slowly but surely every single day. And then you'll actually start to make a difference in your life and become the entrepreneur that you always have been.
Yep. And always have been. That I love that. I love that. Well, thank you so much, Miss Kayla Kimball. Sorry, I love the samples. This is really
probably shouldn't laugh, but I feel like just as much of a kid as you right now. So I'm like,
there's lots of bright, pretty colors and stuff.
Buttons and knobs to mess with.
Buttons and knobs and stuff. By the way, if you want to know how to push buttons, turn knobs in a very, very highly fun, educational, and hopefully profitable manner, go to kmglife.com/apply now, and you can find out what we do for the youth of America, actually really anybody who wants to just be better, follow their passion, and really find out what it is to make creativity your career. We would love to help you out with that. Also, if you're interested in joining the Final Percent in any capacity, we have everything from coaching to training to masterminds to retreats, speaking engagements, anything that you can imagine. Pop on over to the Final Percent Coaching or Greg Kimball's Facebook. I'd love to connect with you. Kayla would love to connect with you. And you know what? We're going to jump back into this podcast thing now that we can do it much more easily and without a computer. So thank you so much, Miss Kayla.
Thank you. Thank you.
This has been the Final Percent Podcast, and we truly appreciate you.